Getting ready to do some work in my car, and I want to cover a couple of things first before I get started, and that is around safety. Just please be very careful when you're working on a car, especially, you know, there's just lots of areas that can cause problems. One thing you want to make sure is, you know, never depend upon your jack to hold up a vehicle. Get you some jack stands. I happen to have 4 of these. They're 3-ton jacks, and I probably use more than I should, but anyway, I don't want any damage to myself. And get you a wheel chock to hold the front and the back tires. I use one. You know, if you want to use multiple, that's certainly up to you. Another area is lighting. You know, I have 3 lights here that I use, and again, I don't care how much lighting you have. It seems like you never have enough, or you never have what you need in the area that you need it. So I have a tendency to overlight as well. Another area for safety, you know, hearing protection, especially if you got air equipment, you know, that can make a lot of noise. You might want some kind of hearing protection. Certainly you want eye protection as well at all times, and gloves. I use these nitrate throwaways, and I'll usually put another pair on with them just to help with the gripping piece of it. And but anyway, it's keep all the oil and stuff off of your body. So just things I wanted to cover before I get started, and be back with you shortly. My rear glass piece is still working, so I can at least get to it from there. So the first thing you got to do, sorry I didn't start out with this, but just get this handle off, and this guy just fits right up in there, and then you lift it up. Sorry about all this. You lift it up, and there's 2 screws in the bottom there, and there's star screws. And you take them out. Now I used a socket wrench to do that, just because I tried it with a screwdriver and I couldn't turn it. The darn things are in there pretty tight, and they got thread lock on as well. So my next step is, get this light up right away. We want to remove this piece of cowling here, and I see I've got a couple of screws back here too, so I may want to take those out as well. And then I'll just start trying to get that off and try to eventually get down to the latch. So I will, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take these out as well, these 2 screws here, and then I'm going to start trying to work this off, and I'll get back with you then. But since I'm by myself, I generally have to, don't want to, and I don't have anything to hold the camera either. Anyway, all right, so I'll be back shortly. So these guys are just those little, kind of like you put in for sheetrock, if you ever do any sheetrock anchors, little plastic anchors, so you back the screw out and it relieves the tension on that, so then it just pulled, the whole thing just pulled right out. So there's 2 of those. All right, so put those up there for safekeeping. So now I will just start prying this thing off gingerly, so as not to you know, destroy anything, and I will show you once I get it open where all the main locks are, what you need to be paying attention to. Alrighty, so now I'm in the back of I'm actually sitting in the cargo area of the vehicle. So this is the piece that goes along the top, and it kind of sits on top of the bottom one here. So, and it's hard to get that out. So I'll pull this piece loose. There's a couple of let's see if I can get over here. Got a couple little plastic things that slide into those 2 screw areas right there, so it just pops right off. You know, if you've got some of these trim removal tools, if you don't have any, I'd highly recommend getting some, because it just makes it a whole lot easier to pry these bad boys off. And then once then you just put some pressure on it, and you start pulling things apart. So there's one here, one down here, probably another one, there's one there. So there's several of them. I think there's one more down there somewhere, and there's a couple of them over here. So there's several little of those, whatever you want to call them, connectors that you push in. So just be careful with them, best you can. Try not to break them. And then so what I'm eventually trying to get down to is, of course, this is where the little thing that I'm removed, the little hatch pull thing. That opener's got to be right down in here somewhere. So I'm in the lock. So if I don't have to take this off, I won't. But I'll see. Okay. Let me. All right. So ended up pulling the whole cowling thing out here, the trim piece, just so I could get some room to work. Then there's this little waterproofing membrane, I guess what you call it. I'm not sure what it is. It's stuck on with some double-sided tape that's not sticking really good going back, but maybe it'll hold good enough once we get it back together. I'm not sure. All right, so down here's our what we're trying to do is get this latch open, and what I had to do was push. There's a little on mine, maybe you can see it back here. There's a little piece of this white piece here. I push that to the right. Now, when I say to the right, I am in the back of the car looking straight back out the window. So I pushed it to my right, which will be on the driver's side. And then once that happens, then you can now push this. But what that really does, I think that's the true unlock piece there. So that unlocked it. And then this moves just basically when you're pulling the handle outside, it's pulling this piece here in to release that latch. So now, it's basically open. I just got to get it. Got to do this all at one time. But so since the lock was not unlocking, I first thought I might have had a cable problem. The cable, I think, is fine based on what I see here. At least this end is fine. Since it was not unlocking, I am more inclined to think now that it's this actuator that's the problem. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to open up the trunk lid a little bit here so I can work on it a little easier. Check out that cable, validate that it's still good on both ends, and then I'll. All right, just wanted you to see some of the movement in here. As you can see, I'm pulling up on the outside latch, and then you'll see that cable moving. So that and I've checked out the cable on the end, so the cable's fine. The problem is going to be in this actuator because it's not unlocking. All right, I got my my part in. Unfortunately, apparently Ford's the only one that still makes these bad boys. So I think it cost me 90-something bucks on Amazon. So that was about the cheapest place I could find it. There's your part number. I'd like to never, ever found that either. So if you need it, there you go. All right, so we're going to start unplugging things. These screws here are going to have to come out. All right, got the old one out, and so this you got an electrical outlet plug in here. This is on the front side if you're looking up toward the that way. You got a plug there, you got a plug there, electrical. These screws do not come out, so there's just the 3 screws that's in from the outside of the door, the bottom part of the door. So those come out, and then your cable. Again, it runs to your handle. That slide this piece out, it just slides in and out, and then you can remove the cable and reattach it. So now I'm getting ready to put it back together. These are the nuts, excuse me, the bolts that came out of it. Not sure what size Torx they are, but anyway, I would recommend, if you don't have one of these little Torx sets that you can put on your wrench, I would highly recommend it. They're wonderful. I got these darn things at Harbor Freight for almost nothing. They come in a set, a little plastic set, and they all stay together. Trying to do it with screwdrivers is just, for some things like these, it's really hard to get out of there, and they have the lock set and Loctite is what I use. So be sure to have some of that on hand so you can put it back on your screws. All right, we're all put back together. All the electrical's in. And you can see you can watch back here, you'll see that's the lock, and that's the unlock. So we are working. Before that would not work. It would only lock, but it would not unlock. So really easy fix once you get this piece off, which is a nightmare. But thought I'd give you a quick look of this panel so you can get some idea how many of these pushing connectors, or whatever you want to call them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 6 on each side that have to go in. So, and then these little pieces here at the top have to fit in underneath these little pieces here by your window. So that's why you'll also have to loosen those guys up. And there's a spring there and a spring load here, so those have to come out as well. So now it's just a matter of putting the water shield back up, like so. Hopefully there's enough tape here to make it stick. If not, it looks like it's sticking. If not, I'd figure out something to make it work, and then we'll be done. Hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any questions, please just let me know. Again, I'm not an expert, as you can probably tell by, I don't know what you call half this stuff, but I can certainly be glad to answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much.